Pythagorean Brotherhood. Background on the founder. The name of the cult comes from the founder Pythagoras. Pythagoras was born in Greece and he died in Italy. He was also a Greek philosopher and mathematician. He moved to Italy to escape the tyranny in Samos and to start his own ethico-political academy. Pythagoras is credited with many findings, most famously and obviously the Pythagorean theorem. Later on, Pythagoras was thought of as a semi-divine figure. Teachings of the Brotherhood. Religion and ethics. The basis of this religion is the belief in the transmigration of souls. Pythagoreanism had both shamanistic and Thracian traits. They had ritualistic rules such as wearing white clothes. They believed that music and philosophy purified the soul. The ultimate goals were to be like your master, to be closer to God, and salvation. They had basic principles that can apply to all of humanity, such as loyalty, modesty, and self-discipline. They also believed that the cosmos are an organism and that the universe is the macrocosm and humans are the microcosm. Metaphysics and number theory. Aristotle said that the number speculation was an important aspect of Pythagoreanism. This means that things are measurable and proportional. Numbers not only had a numerical value, but also a symbolic meaning for life events and occurrences. For example, marriage was associated with the number 5. The sacred decad, also known as tetraskis, is the sum of the first 4 numbers, which equals 10. It had cosmic significance and is also known as the perfect triangle. This was applied to music, which revealed a range of sound. However, only Pythagoras was able to hear this music. The Pythagoreans came up with cosmic opposites such as left, right, male, female, straight, curved, and light and darkness. They also defined the number 1 as both even and odd, and therefore not a number by itself. This applies to the universal 1, which refers to a person, sort of like the chosen one. Their definition of a number was that it had to have a classification of even or odd. Math and science. Pythagoreans are thought to have used carpenter squares, also known as nomonos, with pebbles. If a series of odd-number pebbles were put around the unit pebble, then the perfect square numbers are produced. If even-number pebbles are placed in a similar fashion, then oblong numbers are produced. The square numbers help to produce the Pythagorean theorem. They also made triangular numbers using 3 pebbles and an extension of a similar nature to the odd numbers. It is also said that they ran into irrational numbers, but they did not accept them because it disrupted their view of the universe. Later in the 4th century, they started to accept irrational numbers and made progress on a new theory. Pythagoreans did not make much progress in geometry. However, they are credited with the discovery of the point, line, triangle, and tetrahedron because they were associated with the sacred decad. More progress was made in the 4th century. Pythagoreans based their music on numerical proportions led by the sacred decad. History of the Brotherhood. Early Pythagoreanism. Most sources of the Pythagorean Brotherhood come from Plato and Aristotle. Pythagoreanism was religiously centered around Apollo and the Muses, who were associated with music. There were rigorous rituals. There were 2 main sects of the school, one for esoteric teachings and one for scientific teachings. Later on, in 500 BCE, there was a coup that formed by a rival party. Pythagoras took shelter in Metapontum, where he died. 4th century Pythagoreanism. This is in BCE. This is a period where Pythagoreanism was when Plato and Aristotle This period of Pythagoreanism was when Plato and Aristotle were dominant figures. Power shifted in Italy to another city where Archytas, a friend of Plato, was in power. The Brotherhood was less rigorous during this time, but they focused more on the scientific aspects of their learning. Since the founder had died, the school was weakening. Pupils of Pythagoras' school were making up facts and linking them to Pythagoras in an attempt to strengthen the school. In the end, their efforts failed. Neo-Pythagoreanism. Around the 1st century CE, Neo-Pythagoreanism started to appear. This was due to Apollonius of Tyana. He thought he was the reincarnation of Pythagoras. However, Neo-Pythagoreanism eventually became Platonism or Neoplatonism. Nonetheless, pupils of Platonism still thought of themselves as Pythagoreans. During the Middle Ages, Pythagoras was thought to have been a magician. The Renaissance took ideas from Pythagoreanism, such as the golden section and harmonic proportions. Famous ideas from the Brotherhood. The metaphysics of numbers and its use in music and astronomy is purely mathematical at the core. This is shown by the sacred decad. Philosophy is used for spiritual purification. The destiny of every soul is to rise to the divine. There is an appeal to mathematical symbols that can sometimes be mystical. This is shown by this connection of the tetraskis to the cosmos. The Pythagorean theorem, finding any side of a right triangle as long as the other 2 sides are known. The equation is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All members must be extremely loyal and show discretion. This was a cult, so this is pretty self-explanatory. And these are my sources.